Good afternoon, everyone. These are the following topics that I will discuss to you: authentic assessment and portfolios. Let us define first what authentic assessment is. It says here it describes a broader approach to students' evaluation that tries to bring teachers, parents, and students together to look at the whole body of works that reflects student ability and potential. From the word authentic, it means real. Real work that students do in order to see the accomplishments and potential. The teacher used this authentic assessment to test students' skills and knowledge in realistic situations. So here are some examples of authentic assessment: observation, essays, interviews, journals, exhibits, and demonstrations. Lastly, portfolios. So, what portfolio is? According to www.ed.gov, these are collections of student work representing a selection of performance. So, dito nakapaloob yung mga nagawang output ng mga bata, such as written assignments, jobs, artwork, and presentations. So, this assessment can be an examination of students' selected samples of work, experiences, and documents related to outcomes being assessed. This portfolio assessment represents competencies, exemplary work, or the learner's developmental progress. Yan. The individual items in the portfolio becomes the basis for student-teacher conferences and the base of comparison for future work. The teacher will observe the learning process of the students, progress through their outputs. So, doon magbe-base yung teacher sa mga nagawa nilang outputs na nakapaloob doon sa portfolio. And it enables also students to reflect their real performance, whether they need to enhance more. So, makakatulong din itong portfolio assessment sa mga bata kasi makikita nila kung alin pa ba ang kailangan nilang i-enhance or kailangan ng progress doon sa mga outputs nila. The success of portfolios depends upon several factors. Number one, the student, teacher, and others have to see them as important and purposeful. Bakit nga ba? So, kailangan makita ang kahalagahan ng portfolio. Kasi dito nakapaloob yung mga mahalagang data, just like what I mentioned earlier, yung mga work assignments nila, yung mga nagawa nilang outputs. Number two, time has to be spent between the teacher and student both in the development of the portfolio and its evaluation. So, for example, teacher will evaluate students' learning process, whatever outcomes na nakapaloob doon sa portfolio. Of course, students would also observe kung alin pa yung kailangan nilang i-enhance. Yan. So, both teacher and student ay kailangan nilang makita kung or magbigay sila ng time in order they will help each other para dun sa development ng portfolio. Hindi lamang yung teacher at hindi lamang yung student yung kailangang mag-effort doon sa portfolio, but both of them will need to spend a time. Number 3, acceptable procedures for organizing and evaluating the portfolio have to be developed. A teacher should have a specific list of data in portfolio so that it is easy to evaluate to avoid also confusion. Para mas madali nga naman, kailangan ng list. Specific list kung ano lamang yung mga dapat na nakalagay doon sa portfolio. Number 4, there have to be clear-cut ties between the portfolio assessment and traditional grades. So, I think traditional grades or traditional assessment, these are the quizzes, test scores, and etc. na kung saan ay nag grading yung teacher. But both of these assessment has its creative ways of evaluating students' achievement. So whether it is traditional grades or portfolio means yung authentic na. So kailangan same pa rin yung kanilang parang pagbibigay ng grading sa mga bata. Let's proceed to checklist and rubric assignment. Checklist might be treated with a simple check mark indicating acceptability, or might be rated in some way showing how well each criterion has been met. So in checklist, this assessment, there will be a set of criteria teachers provide to ensure students how to fulfill all requirements of an assignment. So, it's used to clarify expectations. So, kung ano ba yung expectations ng teacher ay nakalagay doon. Students can use this guide to be sure they are meeting the specific criteria. So, ito yung gagamitin ng bata na as a guide para ma-reach nila yung criteria na isinet doon sa checklist ng teacher. So, this is the example of checklist. The report has a clear, creative, descriptive title, attempts to solve a problem or answer a question. Yan. Next, rubric. Items will be marked indicating the level of acceptability or might be rated in some way showing how well each criterion has been met. This assessment naman ay may rating na siya. So, teachers use rubric to explain exactly what students need to achieve in content and performance. So, ito ay may standard na. It provides detailed explanations of what constitutes excellence throughout a project. Ayan. In order for the students to gain high score, ay kailangan gagamitin or magiging guide na din yung rubric. For example, tulad nito. Yan, yung pinakamataas is 5 and then may thumbs up siya na emoticon. The mind map was well presented and all the information is easy to understand. So, para makuha talaga or makakuha ng mataas na points, pinakamataas na points yung bata, is kailangan niyang sundin yung nakaset doon na criteria or na standard. Kung hindi niya naman na-meet, is i-rate siya according doon sa kanyang naging output. Yan. Analytical assessment is based on careful examination of student behaviors or products in the light of clearly identified criteria. So this analytical kumbaga is preliminary evaluation. So panimula. For example, nagbigay ng task yung teacher sa estudyante na gumawa ng essay. And then, after magawa ng bata, ipapasa niya yung naging output niya, then the teacher will have a careful examination kung may kailangan bang i-revise or baguhin or i-improve. So, it is a draft. Ito yung analytical assessment. So, in this, whether the analysis is merely a step in the process or comes as a final feedback session, it can take one of two basic forms. So, first, in this, one approach is for the teacher to begin with no criteria, basically letting the work itself dictate how it is analyzed. So, wala siyang nakaset na criteria. So, after ng output, saka siya i-evaluate without any criteria o standard na gagamitin. Second approach, it involves the examination of a report or project to see how well it meets a few standards. Comments would then be relative to each of these standards. So, opposite naman to siya sa naunang approach. Ito kasi ay may kailangan ng, yung bata ay may susundan ng criteria na kailangan niyang ma-meet or ma-reach. May standard na or may criteria. And then, i-evaluate yung work niya according dun sa naging output niya. Yung i-evaluate yung output niya, and then ito ay kung na-meet niya ba yung standard. So, the following categories might be the basis for evaluation of a project. So, these are the following: topic, approach, effort, purpose, visual quality, mechanics, and content. Leviticus 27 verse 12, it says, "And the priest shall value it, whether it be good or bad, as you value it. Who are the priests, so shall it be." So this verse talks about people who offer sacrifices when they committed sin. And then the priest shall value their sacrifices. So the teacher also will evaluate, will assist their students according to what they have done, kung ano yung mga naging performance nila. So, doon magbe-base yung teacher, i-evaluate ng teacher yung mga nagawang output ng mga bata. And then we also, as Christians, we live here on earth. God gives us a lot of opportunity. And the question is, nagagawa ba natin yung kalooban ng Panginoon everyday? So, time will come, the Lord will evaluate us because lahat ng mga ginagawa natin dito sa sanlibutan, araw-araw, ito ay naka-record. Then, sa ikalawang pagdating ng ating Panginoon, all of us, tayo ay harap sa judgment. And then, doon natin makikita yung ating o malalaman sa ating mga sarili kung tayo ba talaga ay karapat-dapat na manahan sa langit na bayan na ihanda ng ating Panginoon. So, let's evaluate also ourselves kung talagang nagagawa ba natin yung kalooban ng ating Panginoon. So, that's all for this afternoon. Thank you and God bless.